I've got 2 targets, a score sheet. I've signed a waiver. I have 50 rounds, 5 magazines. I've got them numbered. If I have any problems with magazines or a pattern of problems, I can determine which magazine it might be. I've got eye ear protection. My gun is empty, no magazine, locked back and in the holster. And so I'm going to walk you through this and give you a lot of tips on how to get started with GSSF and how to shoot a very clean match. I'm going to hang up my target number 2. I'm going to fold or roll my target number 1 so it goes into the hanger easily. And I'm going to send it out to the first distance, which is 15 feet or 5 yards. I've got everything I need set up. My magazines are placed the same way that I picked them up, spaced apart. My gun's locked open, pointed down range. The most common thing we see in classes and coaching sessions and matches is shooters, for example, right-handed shooters pushing low, low left, or straight left, and the opposite for left-handed shooters. When I fire a shot, I get onto that wall or prep the trigger, and I don't want that trigger finger pressure to swing out like a door on a hinge and an arc. I want it to come straight to the rear. Now, before the match begins, there's a couple of minutes where everybody's getting ready. I'm going to throw my target out there at that first distance, and with dry fire, the gun empty, I'm going to practice prepping very softly, not slowly, but softly, with about a pound of pressure so that I don't have a lot of pressure on that trigger face when it comes time to fire. I want to get a gentle prep and a subtle, quick snap to the rear without moving the gun. Now, after each shot, I'm going to relax the finger. I'm not going to think about finding the wall. I'm just going to relax, let the trigger finger go limp, and take a free ride forward to the wall. That, again, gets me back on the wall with not a lot of pressure, and that gives me more trigger finger isolation from the hand. I'm less likely to tighten, loosen the hand as the trigger finger goes forward and back, forward. So it's all about fundamentals. I've got to accept the movement, and when I see an acceptable sight picture, I've got to relax, feel the gun as much as I see the sights, and get a smooth trigger press to the rear every single time. It's all about that trigger press and fundamentals if you want to do well. One of the mistakes I see a lot of people do is they try to bring the gun up, get the sight on the center, and prep the trigger and sit on that wall, and what happens is the very first shot, they jerk it low. So let's hear what 15 seconds sounds like and how we can space those shots and manage our time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And see how I went just a touch over? Normally in a Glock match, if they begin to whistle to stop, they will let you stop a little bit late without being a penalty. What I do is just come to the match cold and take these first 10 shots as sort of your practice. If you mess up, they're still going to be within the 10 ring, but I'm going to try to burn a ragged hole in the middle. Now, range commands may vary a little bit from one match to the next, but they're going to do something like shooters on the line, load, send your targets out to 15 feet. Shooters on the line, load and make ready. And then they will say something like shooters stand by and then beep. So I'm going to do that. And remember, I'm going to be trying to burn one ragged hole in the center. This is my warm up or my practice. 11:03. I was 11:03. I went a little too fast, and as a result, yes, they were all in the 10 ring and in the X ring in the center, but only about half of them dug that one ragged hole. So I kind of missed my opportunity there to warm up. I ran it out to 25 feet. Shooters on the line, load and make ready. This time I'm going to try to manage that time and even be more precise. And I don't want that group to grow any. Keep it on the center of the X ring. Stand by. Okay. And I am 12:17. Let's see what we have. So I've actually got a tighter group in the center there than I did at 5 yards, and I'm already out there at about 8 yards or so. So I sort of got my act together on that second string. So on target one, what's my score? Here's the 10 ring, 8 ring, 5 outside of that. So I've got 20 shots in the X ring. Now I'll hang target two. Shooters on the line, load and make ready. Fingers straight, keep the gun in a safe direction. I'm not aiming at the 10 ring or the X ring. I'm aiming, my eyes are burning a hole in the center of the X ring. So I had to speed up that last shot to get past it. I had a little burp. Now, what was that malfunction? It's a good lesson here. What I was doing is this left hand, I didn't have a good enough grip, and I was pressing up on this slide lock. So on one of those shots, when it went to the rear, it locked itself back. So these were the first two shots, and that was a mistake. And then I kind of caught myself and got dialed back in. Believe it or not, this is a little bit sloppy. If I keep shooting like I am now, it seems great. I'm going to miss at 75 and 50 feet. So I'm going to try to get my act together, get a really good grip and perfect trigger presses. And I'm shooting for that center ragged hole. And that's why you shoot a ragged hole early on in the stage, so you can see that as you move out. It gives you a good reference. Okay, well, actually, that's better than I thought it was. I'm still touching, so that's 20 shots so far at 25, 50 feet. I'm still in there, but see this 4 inch, about a 4 inch area. This is about an 8 inch area, I believe, if I remember correctly. When I get out to 75, these hits are going to be just right on the edge. So I need to shoot at least this good or better, but I can't see as well at 75. And I'm not sure how well lit this range of this particular lane is. We'll see how good the target looks at 75. Hopefully the light's shining on it. Okay, I can see that pretty good. Yeah, I can see that pretty good. So let's take the last 10. Boy, I have really got to have a perfect trigger press. Okay, barely kept them in there. I felt my grip loosen up on 2 of those shots. Let's see what happens. I don't think that was good enough for a 500. It's more about feel than anything, and I barely made the time. Okay, I was hoping I would shoot a 500 for you, but just wasn't focused quite enough. But look, I said I'll release the grip a little bit on 2 of the shots. Look where they went. They went high. I always do that. I either shoot a 500, a 498 in this case, or a 496. Almost got a 496. It's still good, but I'm always shooting for that so-called Glock perfection. Okay, so you bring it back in and it's scored. This is how it works. I've got 20 X rings. It could be 10 ring, but 20 X's, that still equals, either one equals 200 points, but I've got 20 tiebreakers. And here I've got 28 X ring and 110, so that basically those are all 10-point hits and one 8-point hit. So that's 298 out of 300, 200 out of 200. You add them up, and I got 498 out of 500, almost perfect score. And then I shoot this the first Saturday of every month at this range. They're quarterly, so I only have to shoot 2 out of the 3 matches every quarter to be counted in the contest and the prizes. You can win a lot of different prizes and a free gun. So fun stuff, very competitive, great trigger time.
Bullseye marksman, come train with us.